Okay, guys. Am I audible? Can you confirm in the chat box? Okay, yeah. So we'll be starting. Like already 89 students have joined. So I just shared the screen. So basically today's session is basically for doubt solving, whatever you have for Python sessions, which almost is going to end. So today's session is basically doubt solving. So and for today's doubt solving session, we have invited our this guest speaker. His name is Nanesh Valvadkar. So I'll just giving brief introduction of him. So he has worked as a machine learning developer in Mars Technologies India Private Limited and worked on 7 machine learning industry projects. So you can see that here there are many industrial projects which he had worked on, and apart from this, he has also many experiences of research, like publishing research projects. Yeah, so publishing research projects in healthcare sectors using artificial intelligence, and he was nominated in smart city projects. And for 1 year, he has worked on as a president of DPEX. And I think all of you may have known this organization, DPEX. And as a DPEX president, he has organized around 70 plus events in different Pune colleges. And currently, he is as an executive member of DPEX in Maharashtra. So, and he is also technical mentor for various technical courses. Is like for Wisdom Eye, and he was a prime member of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya India Alumni Organization. And in 4th year, like he got selected for MS Data Science in like 5 UK universities in final of BE. Like here are given names of different universities, like Queen Mary University of London, University of Bath, Cardiff University, and he is from IT branch. Currently is in 4th year. So he has kindly agreed for giving this session. And like here there are many advanced certificates which he has learned. So you can see that there are different courses and universities. So we are very grateful for sir for agreeing for this session. So I'll just give this control to him. Yes, Nanesh sir, you can start.
Yes. Thank you, Ravi, for kind introduction. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. So let's start today's session. So first of all, I want to welcome all of you in today's Python doubt solving session. So basically it is doubt solving plus revision session. Okay. So while starting the session, I would like to read one quote for all of you, right? Everyone can see on screen. Is my screen everyone? You can communicate with me while using your chat box. Okay. So if my screen is visible to all of you, you can put yes. Okay. Thank you, Amarnath. Okay. So the quote is saying that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Okay. So while starting the session, everyone can think on this quote. It is very beautiful quote saying that educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Right? And you can see in this picture, this man is very advanced in every technology, but he's very confused what to do and he's in stress. Why? Because just mugging up the concept of any subject or rectifying the philosophical concept, it is not the education. You have to grasp the concept and you have to apply that philosophy or concept in your life, right? So while studying today's Python concept, we will try to solve many different questions. And in that question, I'm not going to help you basically. I'm just showing you direction, how to solve those questions. And you all have to run those code on your machine and you have to give your answers in chat box. Okay. So first of all, I want to mention some rules for today's session. Okay, so these are some rules which I have to tell you in the starting of the session. So attend every topic attentively. First of all, solve all examples given during the session. Try to participate in discussion using chat box. Okay, that is very mandatory because we know that these are virtual sessions. So many of you are might not feel very serious while attending session and you may get sleep. Okay, so try to participate in discussion using chat. Try to run code from your end and give answers in chat box. Answer for all examples will be discussed after getting the inputs from you all bright minds. Okay, so I will give you some examples which uh, doubts I got from Google form. So for better understanding, I'm putting some examples on your screen. So you have to run those code on your machine and you have to give some inputs in chat box. Okay, after that only we are going to discuss those examples. And please make running notes of all topics. Okay, in the end of this session, we are going to revise everything, right? So while listening this session or attending this session, you have to make very good notes. Okay, so by using the notes, we can revise at the end and you can switch on your videos or you can keep your videos on if you wish. But in the beginning for 2 minutes, I want to see everyone's face. Okay. We will do this activity for only 2 minutes. You can switch on your videos and after that we can start our session. Okay. I will take some water during that. I'm seeing your videos. You can switch on your videos and Ravi, if possible, you can take screenshot of their bright faces.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you, Siddhant. Thank you, Kaushal. Thank you, Samir. Okay, I'm not getting everyone's faces here. Okay, I will see now. Okay, thank you, Dipti. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Somam. Right, please switch on your videos because these are virtual sessions, right? So while attending these virtual sessions, we feel very bored, right? Because so I also feel bored while attending these virtual sessions. So please switch on your videos and do participate in discussion, okay? Okay, thank you. Now you can switch off your videos. At the end, we will do this activity again. So be prepared and be attentive, okay? Okay. One more quote for everyone, okay? A positive attitude may not solve every problem, but it makes solving any problem more pleasant experience, right? So while today's session, enjoy every problem, right? Try to solve every problem because if you get or not get, that is not problem at all because I am here to give you explanation about every problem, right? But enjoy today's session and try to solve every problem. In today's topic means basically I got so many doubts from you guys. So what I did, I made just one presentation. In that presentation, I covered all these topics. I tried to cover all these topics. I put it some example in our present for better understanding. I entered some extra concepts also, okay, regarding that topic. So in today's session, we are going to cover identifiers concept, data types, or what all data types in Python exist and what all their properties are, typecasting concepts, because I got 2-3 doubts on typecasting concepts also. And I saw so many students feeling some difficulty in data structures part, right? So we are going to discuss about data structure, basically list and tuple in more detail and all other data structure topics in short. Flow control concept means for loop, while loop, all those flow structures, iterative statements, transfer statement, and some coding questions we will cover. So basically, you can see on my screen, I will just minimize my screen. We have slides, okay? So if we give 1 minute to every slide, then it takes 1 hour to complete today's session, okay? So my speed will be little fast, but I will try to interact with you all. If you face some difficulty, you can put your question in chat box. So can we start today's session? Everyone is ready? If yes, then please put S in chat box if you are ready. Okay, thank you, Shivam. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Mark. Okay, so let's start today's session, okay? If some point you feel that my network is not working well, then please put message in chat box, because I am feeling that my network is not stable. So if you feel sometimes my voice is stucking or my screen is not visible, you can put one message in chat box, okay? Okay, so first of all, what is identifier? I want input from you guys. What is your understanding about identifiers? My chat box is open, so you can put what is identifier in your words. Okay, don't put what you are seeing on screen. What is identifier? Pratik Dhamal, Rahul Mai, Shruti Devkar, you can try to give answer in chat box. What is identifiers basically, right? A name, okay, I will tell. A name in Python program is called identifier. Anything. Right, any name assigned to variable. Okay, Srushti is saying, Mark is saying name given to variable, right? Basically, name given to variable is correct, but is not the complete answer. Name given to anything in Python is the identifier, right? Means name given to class, right? It is identifier basically. So it can be a class name or function name or module name or variable name. You can make note of it, right? So many of you are saying that identifier is a name given to the variable. It is correct, but it is not the full answer. What is identifier? It can be your MCQ question or it can be your interview question as well. Identifier is a class name or function name or module name or variable name, right? Right. Or object name. Okay, Sriram, right. Perfect. And there are some rules which we have to follow to define the identifiers, right? Okay. If you feel my speed is too speedy, I am going too fast, then you can mention that in chat box. Basically, we have 58 slides and so many doubts. So I have to little hurry in covering all these topics. So make sure that you are making running notes or taking screenshots of slide, okay? So first rule, the only allowed characters in Python are, right? While defining the identifiers, there are some rules which we have to follow. First rule is the only allowed characters in Python are alphabet symbols, right? Either lowercase or uppercase. We can use for giving the name for identifiers, right? Or we can use digit also, 0 to 9, right? And only one symbol from, we know that there are very different symbols in our keyboard, right? But only underscore symbol is allowed in Python to give it to identifiers, right? One example I mentioned here, by mistake, if we are using any other symbol like $, then we will get syntax error, right? It is the example, cash. In cash, we are using only alphabets, and cash is equal to 12, means we are assigning the 10 value to the cash variable, right? So cash is identifier, right? Cash is identifier name given to the variable, given to the value 10, right? And in next example, you can see here, I will use 1 minute, just I will annotate, then you will understand better. There is no annotation option. Okay, let's understand basically like this only. You can see this second example, right? In cash, we are using $sign. So this is wrong variable name, right? This is wrong identifier. Okay, second rule is identifier should not start with digit, right? We can make use of digits 0 to 9 while designing the identifier name, but in start, you cannot use the digits while defining identifier, right? In this example, you can see that 1, 2, 3 total. This is the wrong identifier, but total first alphabetical words and then digits. This is the right identifier. Okay. So these two rules we have covered about identifier. Now next rule. Third rule was identifiers are case sensitive. Of course, Python language is a case sensitive language, right? So one doubt I got from one student, that he was asking that like this total and total variable. He was saying that why if we print these two variables, then we are getting different answers, right? Because these two variables are different. If you check with the if statement, then you will get the different IDs for this total, which we are written in a lowercase letter, and second one was use uppercase letter, right? Make use of uppercase letters. Then these two are different variables, right? Because Python language is a case sensitive language. Okay, these are three main rules, and now some special points I have mentioned here as a notes. These are additional to that doubt, so everyone can make note of these. I'm sure that every one of you not know this all 7, right? You might not know third or fifth point, or someone will might know 3 or 4. So make note of every points. First point we discussed that alphabetical symbols allowed, right? Uppercase or lowercase. Second point was if identifier is start with the underscore, then it indicate it is private. Okay, we not discussed that. So second point is if identifier is start with the underscore, right? Underscore symbol, then it is indicate it is a private member, right? Your someone can put the answer. What is meaning of that private? Can you want to try? Private variable. What is meaning of private variable? Anyone have any idea? This concept is not covered yet, I think, in your class by Milind sir. But anyone can try. Anyone wants to try? Okay. You will get to know about this private keyword. Okay, what is the meaning of this private? But make sure that you will remember this concept that if identifier is start with underscore, then it indicates it is private. Okay. Third point is identifier should not start with digit, right? We saw one example. So identifiers are case sensitive. Okay. We cannot use reserved words with identifiers as identifiers. Okay. What is meaning of reserved words? Anyone? Anyone wants to try? Mitesh, Prathamesh, Soham, Rohit. Anyone know what is meaning of reserved words? Yes. For, while, Amrita saying print. Yeah. It's those words which we are using for our Python syntax, right? Those are words with a special meaning. Okay, Shruti Patil is saying, right? Keywords, Pratik is saying, perfect. These reserved words are basically we use for special purpose, right? Like if word, we know, print function, we know, or import function, we know, right? Where while importing any library, what we use? Import, right? While importing any package. So import is a keyword. So it is a reserved word. We cannot use that as our identifier. Yes, reserved word by programming language, example for dev. Yes, Roshan. Perfect. Tejas is saying special words given by system. Yes, print for, yes, perfect. Okay. 6th point is there is a no length limit for Python identifier. Okay, this is a very special point. Sometime in MCQ exams of Python language, you get such type of questions. Okay. There is a no length limit for Python identifiers, but not recommended to use too lengthy identifiers, right? So what will happen if you use too lengthy? It will be very difficult to understand that program, or it will be very difficult to remember that name of any identifier, right? So while we can, we don't have any limit, right? But basically what we use very short words as identifier, okay? Do not make use of too lengthy identifiers. Okay, dollar symbol is not allowed in Python. Okay, these all special points about identifier. Okay, this was the doubt of someone. I not remembering name, but okay. There are some examples. You can go through these examples. 1, 2, 3 total is wrong identifier starting with digits, right? Total 1, 2, 3 is correct. Java to share correct. Cache is correct. Def. Anyone can answer it. Def and if is giving is wrong, right? It is a wrong identifier. Why this is a wrong identifier? 6 and 7 keywords, right? Amarnath, perfect. Def and if are keywords in Python, right? So because of that, these are wrong identifiers. Okay, this is a note. You can go through this note. Some of you may understand this concept. Some of you may not understand this concept, but please go through this concept. Notice if identifier start with underscore symbol, then it indicates that it is private, right? We discussed that. If identifier start with double underscore symbol, right? 2 underscore symbol, then indicate that strongly private identifier. This is also very useful concept. In future, you are going to discuss this with Milind sir. Please make note of this. If identifier start with a 2 underscore symbol, indicating that the strongly private identifier, okay? And third point is if the identifier starts and ends with a 2 underscore symbol, then the identifier is language defined special name, right? Language defined special name is basically what? Anyone know that? Language defined special names are like the keywords only, right? Like reserved words only. These are going to use as a functionalities which are written in a backend code, okay? And which is also known as magic methods. Magic methods is a very nice concept. Everyone of you may listening this word first time, right? Magic method. So what is a magic method? Magic methods are not meant to be invoked. The invocation happens internally from the class on a certain action, right? So here is one example is given. When you add two numbers using the plus operator, internally the add method will be called. right? So this is the add method. You can see here 2 underscore symbol at the beginning and 2 underscore symbols at the end is given, right? For this add method. Okay, so this was the concept of identifier. Now data types, right? One student asked that what all different data types are there in Python language. Okay, so what is data type basically? Data type represents the type of data present inside a variable. Okay, so data type is type of data present in variable. And what is the main basic quality of Python of defining any variable name? Can anyone mention here? It is written here, right? In Python, we are not required to specify the type explicitly, right? In C language or in C++ or in Java, we have to mention the data type while declaring that variable, right? Means we have to write like int x, int y, or string class, like that. But in Python, we are not required to specify the type explicitly because in Python is a dynamically typed language. Okay, so Python is going to assign automatically. Means if you write just any name like I will mention here Amarnath. Okay, Amarnath is equal to 20. So our Python language automatically, your system automatically going to understand that Amarnath identifier or variable is of the type int, right? So because of that, Python is known as dynamically typed language. Please make a note of this, right? Python is dynamically typed language, and there are basically 14 types of data types in Python. You can make note of this also, right? First is int, float, complex आपने नहीं सुना होगा शायद, right? Complex, bool. So complex is also one of the data type in Python. Okay, complex bool means Boolean keyword. str is a string keyword, string data type. Sorry, bytes keyword, byte array, range is also one of the data type in Python. Okay, list, tuple, set, frozen set. Okay, आपने frozen set भी नहीं सुना होगा. Frozen set भी एक data type है Python में. Okay, dictionary and none also is one of the data type in Python. So there are total 14 data types in Python, right? And there are two types of data types are there, right? Anyone can mention it? There are two types. We can categorize the data types into basically main two classes. One is primitive and second is, anyone want to mention here in chat box? There are two types. One is primitive data type and second one is, anyone? I'm not getting any answer. Non-primitive, right? Yes, Sagar, perfect. I think so many of you don't know this, right? So there are two types of data types. There are primitive, second one is non-primitive. Okay, so this was the discussion about data types. Now typecasting. How many of you know the typecasting concept? I want to first listen from you. You know about typecasting and where we use that typecasting? No, okay, Mansi is saying don't know, okay. Srushti also don't know. Anyone know about typecasting? While taking input, okay, Bhakti, perfect, but not complete answer. To change the data type of variable, perfect, Ayush Gala from PICT, perfect answer. To change the data type of variable, okay. Yes, so we are going to see, someone is asking, someone, nahin, I'll check. 3 or 4 questions I got on typecasting, right? Because I think they were facing difficulty in understanding the typecasting concept, which we use during taking input from user, right? So that's why 2-3 students asked this question, typecasting. So what is the typecasting? We can convert one type value to another type. This conversion is called typecasting or type conversion, right? One data type to another data type. Means basically int to float or float to int, right? Float to int. This is called as changing data type. Okay, perfect. Kostu is saying to change the data. Yes. Okay, Kostu. And there are different functions. There are different inbuilt functions which we are going to use for the typecasting. Okay, those are int, float, complex, bool, and str. So basically, int function we are going to use to convert any data type value to integer type. Okay, float function we are going to use to convert any value, means from integer to float or complex to float. Okay, complex Same, any variable value to complex type. Like that, fourth one also, Boolean type, and fifth one is what is complex function. We are going to see that. Okay, I have added that concept also. Okay, now you can see here integer. Okay, we can use this function to convert the values from other type. There are some examples, right? At first you can see that int 123.987, right? So what is the data type of this number? 123.987. This is the float value, right, Aisha? So we are converting this value into float value, integer value, right? Using the int function. Now someone has asked the concept complex, right? Complex. You can see here int 10 plus 5j. Anyone can we have learned that in M1, I think, right? Complex numbers. Standard form of complex number. Anyone can? No. Yes, x plus I y, right, Ayusha? Perfect. Srushti is also saying a plus bi, Suyash a plus bi. Perfect. So that is the standard form of complex number, right? So can convert complex to int. So basically complex number having two parts, right? One is a proper number and second one is imaginary. Right now, I wala part 5j. You have written here 5j. So we cannot convert the complex number into int. So we are getting here error, right? Basically true. True is the Boolean type, right? We can convert Boolean type to int. So what we will get? 1. Boolean value in integer is 1 and false value is 0, right? So now in this function, what is this value basically? Can anyone explain? At the line of 9, we are converting which data type to which string? Perfect, Aisha. This is the string value. We are converting into int, right? Now 11th line, that is also the string variable. But what is mentioned here? Value error, invalid literal for int with the base 10, 10.5. Why this happening? Because while converting the string to int, what it does that just it convert that value into integer, but 10.5 is not integer, it is float, right? So we are getting value error, invalid literal for int with the base 10. Like that for this also, 10 is a proper string, so proper string cannot be converted into integer value. We are getting value, and same in this also. This is the hex value, right? So we are getting value error. Okay. Now we are not going to see every example because it's taking time, and we are having so many concepts in front of, right? We are going to just see briefly. Now this is second one is float function, right? Float function is converting any value to float value, right? You can see in first line, we are converting integer value to float value. So integer value was 10, and after converting it into float, it converted into 10.0. Okay, like that. Float value for Boolean true 1.0. Boolean value false converted into float, we are getting 0.0. Like that for everything, right? Okay. Complex, right? Someone is asking about complex. So you can see here, we can use complex function to convert other types to the complex type. Okay. There are different form of complex number, right? In some complex number, there is no imaginary part, right? Or in some, there is no real part, right? So in first form, you can see just in complex function, I have passed the x variable, right? So we can use this function to convert x. Someone's mic is on. Please mute yourself. Okay, thank you. Okay, so complex number, right? So in this complex number, we are not adding any imaginary part, right? Only we are making use of real number. So what is the syntax for that? Complex in bracket, we have to just pass that number, right? Here we pass the 10. So what is this number? What will be this number form? 10 plus 0j, right? Like that for this float value, 10.5 plus 0j. For true, it will take its integer value 1 plus 0j. For false, false is already 0. So real part for this number will be 0 and 0 plus 0j. Like that for everything. You can take screenshot of these examples, and after the session, you can try every example, okay? That will be the better for you. Please take the screenshot because we cannot discuss every example. Now second form. In second form, we can see that there is a presence of real part as well as imaginary part, right? So in complex function, we have to pass two parameters. Just you can see here, we have passed x and y. right? So X is a real part and Y will be the imaginary part. Okay. So I think now complex number will be the clear. String, right? str. What will the use of str function? To convert any data type to the string data type. Okay. You can see here in examples. That is very easy concept. Okay. Okay. Now there comes the immutability, right? So many of you might know, or so many of you, there is a chance not here till now. So there are two concepts, immutability and mutability, right? So I got one doubt about this. What is the meaning of immutability, right? So now we are going to see this concept. You can take screenshot or, right? So all fundamental data types are immutable, okay? All fundamental data types of Python are immutable. Once we create an object, we cannot perform any changes in that object. Okay. If we're trying to change, then with those changes, new object will be created. But that previous one वाला जो variable है हमारा, जो हमारा previously created है, that will be not changed. Okay. For changing the value, we will create the new object for that. And that is known as immutability, right? So basically immutability means we cannot make change. These non-changeable behavior is called the immutability. Okay. What is the need of immutability? That you have to understand, right? Okay. Only what is immutability, it is not important. You have to understand why there is need of such concept in programming language, right? So in Python, if a new object is required, then PVM means Python virtual machine, won't create object immediately. Okay. If we want to create any new object, then what PVM will do? First, it will check, is any object available with the required content or not? If available, then existing object will be reused. Okay. If that object previously exists, then what PVM will do? It will reuse that object, but not create new one. If it is not available, then only the new object will be created. Okay. The advantage of this approach is memory utilization and performance. Performance will be improved, right? Because we are saving our time, right? Creation time. But the problem in this approach is several references pointing to the same object. By using one reference, if we are allowed to change the content in the existing object, then the remaining reference will be affected. What is the meaning of these lines? Okay. Basically, you can understand by this. Means I have one variable named A, and I am saving a 10 number into that variable, right? A is equal to 10. And again, I am defining B is equal to 10, C is equal to 10, D is equal to 10. So basically, every variable storing same content, right? 10. So what PVM will do? PVM will not create object immediately, right? First, it will check is any object available with the required content or not. So when we create A is equal to 10, and again, in second line, we write the B is equal to 10, then PVM will search for the 10 object in memory locations, right? If he get 10 object, then it will not create. And we know that we already created A above the B, right? So it will not create any new reference for B. Just it will address that B to the same memory location, right? Like that, if we create again new variable C is equal to 10, then C also refers to the same address. Okay. Then if we have written content in the existing object, then the remaining, right? If we allow to change the content in an existing object, means now A, B, C, both of these three variables now addressing the same value 10. If now we make the change in C variable, C is equal to 20, if I make, right? But what we know that A, B, C addressing same memory location, right? And if I change the value of C, then automatically the value of A and B will get changed. Okay, that is what I'm saying. Okay, according to this, once create an object, we are not allowed to change the content. So basically, to prevent this immutability concept is required. Immutability concept is required, right? अब अभी हमें सेम अगर हमने C चेंज किया तो हमारी A and B की वैल्यू चेंज हो रही है ऑटोमेटिकली, राइट? विदाउट अवर नीड. सो फॉर प्रिवेंटिंग दिस drawback, we are using immutability concept. So when we use this immutability concept, A and B will be immutable. Then that value will not change. Means A and B will be referenced to 10, but C will get get new memory location for storing new value. Okay, that is the immutability concept. It is very complex to understand in theory, but if you do some practical in your coding environment, then you will get understanding of this. Okay. You can take screenshot of this slide, and after this session you can try some examples, and you will get. Okay, sir, expand PBM site Chandrasekhar. Okay, we will do that. Yes, you can see here A is equal to 10 in this example, B is equal to 10. Now I am checking that A is B or not. So what we are getting output true. A and B are same, and if you are checking the ID here, ID of A and ID of B, then ID of A and ID of B are same. You can observe here, right? Why? Because both of these values are same. So what PBM will do? It will not create any new reference for B, just it will reference the old one, which is used for A. So ID means basically memory location, okay? Address. Okay, now next concept, it is data structure, okay? Okay. So just we have completed our discussion about the primitive and non-primitive data types, right? So there are primitive and non-primitive, two major types of data structure, okay? And under primitive data type, there are again 4 types: integer, float, string, and boolean. And in non-primitive data type, there are again 6 data types, okay? Array, list, tuple, dictionary, set, and file. And under again list, you can see here in list, there are again 2 types: linear and non-linear data types, data structures. Under linear, stack and queue, and under non-linear, graphs and trees. Okay, you can take screenshot of this. This is a very useful slide. Okay, and in end, I will ask this question. Okay, different types of primitive data types and different types of non-primitive data types. Again, different types of list under linear and non-linear. Okay, so please make a note of this. Okay, next slide. Now, first of all, we will cover all concepts about list. Okay, because I got so many doubts in data structure concept on different functionalities of data structure, right? Like append function, add function, remove function. There was so much doubts. So in detail, now we are going to see this concept, okay? List data types. So can anyone mention what you understand after listening this list data structure? You can mention in chat box. What is your understanding about list data structure? There are different properties of list data structure, right? Okay, I will do one thing. I will change the slide. Okay. So from today's gathering, anyone want to attend this question? What is the list data structure and what all different properties list possess? List is mutable, okay. Srushti is saying list are mutable object. These 6-5 students are attending every questions. Why not all? Now I will check the list of attendees, okay, participants. I will call some names: Saurabh Tiwari, Saurabh Badre, Kaustubh Jivane. I not heard your name or not read your name from chat box ever. Rahul Mali, Chaitanya Londe, Ashutosh Rokde, Sakshi Masurkar. Please attend this question. What is your understanding about list? List are mutable and tuple is immutable. Okay, Sidham, perfect. Kaustubh Jivani is saying list is denoted by the square brackets. Okay, nice. Vivek Patil is saying list are used to store the multiple items in a single variable. Yes, perfect. Okay. So what is list? Okay, if you want to represent a group of values as a single entity where insertion order required, right? Insertion order required. What is meaning of that? We want to preserve the order, right, in which user is giving the input to system. That order we want to preserve. In such cases, list data structure we can use. Or to preserve, and duplicates are allowed. Duplicates are allowed means we want to enter same entry again and again in list, right? So in that case, we can use list. Okay. Insertion order is preserved in list. Heterogeneous objects are allowed. Heterogeneous objects are allowed. What is the meaning of that? We can use make of string, integer or float or boolean data type in a single list variable, right? You can make note of these points. We can use heterogeneous objects in list. Third point is duplicates are allowed. And fourth point is growable in nature. Growable in nature means if we define some limits for list, and while doing program, that limit is crossed, right? While giving input, user may cross that limit. So in such cases, list की size अपने आप बढ़ सकती है, right? List is a growable in nature. You can make note of this. Value should be enclosed within the square bracket. Okay, you can see example here. List is equal to square bracket. First value is integer, second value is float, third is string, fourth one is boolean, and sixth one is again integer, right? And after printing, you will get the output in square bracket only. Okay, now we are going to see different properties of list, right? Different methods to create the list object. Expand to different data types. Okay, apply various operations. Append. Yes, Pratik is saying apply various operations like append, pop, delete, and many others. Yes, yes, Pratik from VIT. Yes, already I added all those points in these slides. Okay, so first of all, how to create list? There are different 5 methods to create list. Okay, first method, we can create the empty list as object as follows. Just I use the variable name as a list is equal to square bracket, right? And again I am printing list, prints list data, and in second I am printing the data type of list. Then you can see your output. Just I got the empty list as output, and again the type of that list was class list, right? Okay, so that is the first method. Just using that square bracket, we can create the empty list. Okay, in second one, if we know the elements already, then we can create the list as follows, right? If we know all the elements which we want to enter into the list, then we can create the list as follows. List is equal to square, and then right, data required variables into that variable, like we can see in this example 10, 20, 30, 40 I have written and assigned to the variable list. Okay, third one, with the dynamic input, right? So how to means we want to take input from user and we want to store that all input in the list variable. Then how we can do? List is equal to eval in bracket, eval function. You might don't know right now, but you will get to know. Just understand this input function. Input, enter list. Again, what will happen here? User can enter any number or any string, any float value, any boolean value, and all this data gets stored in list variable, right? So this is the third method of creating list while taking the dynamic input from user. Please make note of that, right? Fourth is with list function. Okay, you can make use of list function to create list, right? You can see example here. L is equal to list. I used a range function. You all know about range function. I want to discuss that also. Okay, basically you will understand from here what a range function will do. It will create numbers from 0 to 10, and what is this 2? This 2 indicates number of states to take. Means in this we are going to store 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10 will not get stored, right? So basically 5 members. We can do one thing. Everyone just turn on your system. Everyone can do that. Just type this first line, second line, and third line. Run your code and post your output in chat box. Okay, Sriram Narkade posted here the syntax of range function, right? Perfect, Sriram. Range, start, stop, and step. Perfect. Now for I'm waiting for 2 minutes, right? Everyone type this code and post your output in chat box. 02468. Rahul Mali, you type that output. You not run your code, right? Because you not got the output. Type I. Don't type output. Just run, and that you can copy paste. Okay. Perfect. 02468. Okay. Everyone done? Class list. Okay. Srushti, perfect. Pratik also not run code because you not got a square bracket in starting and end, right? Vrashav Sasane posted perfect output, and Srushti Shriyati from PVG COET college, she also posted perfect answer. Sai Chandu from I don't know this college. Okay, Avishkar, perfect. Okay, So you will get this output while running this. Okay, this was fourth method to create the list. Okay, now we are going to see fifth, using split function. I'm getting still SVU. Okay. Oh, Sai Chandu, okay, from SVU college. Okay. Right. Now fifth method is using split function. What split function will do? Split function just split the, it will just split that string, right? यहाँ पे s is equal to हमने लिखा है, learning Python is very very easy, right? So that is string, and s dot split, what it will do? It will split that string into different words, right? Anyone from you guys can run this code and post the output for everyone. They will get to know what will. Okay, Pratik, learning Python is very very easy. Srushti Patil, perfect. Okay, so you will get that output. Everyone can see in chat box. Learning Python is very very easy. All words come as one different string in a list. It gets stored in S, right? And type of that I, you will get class type. Okay. Okay, now we will move to next. So these are 5 methods to create list. Okay. Now accessing element of list. Okay, so many of you asked the doubt about this concept also, how to access the different element of list, right? So now you will get here. We can access elements of the list either by using index or by using slice operator. Okay, so in list we can make use of index. Directly by using index we can access any element of list. Okay, we can see here first method to access the element using index. List follows zero based index. What is the meaning of that? Means index will get start from the zero number, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay, index of the first element is 0, always 0. Make note of that. List support both positive and negative indexes. And what is the meaning of negative indexes? You can see here in picture, right? You can see list starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and from end you can see the what is written there, -1, -2, -3, -4. So that is a major concept in majorly used in list only, negative indexing, right? So positive index means for left to right, and negative index means for right to left. Okay, now you can see an example, right? We have created the list, 10, 20, 30, 40 are the elements of it. And you can access any element of that list. You can see here what we wrote, print list square bracket 0. And what is the meaning of that 0? Showing index, right? So what we will get as output, 10. In second, we are written list square bracket -1. So we got output as a 40, right? The last element, because negative indexing, what negative indexing do? It start from right? No, it start from, anyone can, it starts from right to left, right? Perfect. And if you mention any wrong index in list variable, then you can see what we will get error. Index error, right? List index out of range. Why? Because in our list, you can see we have only 4 elements. So 4 elements means what all indexes we can use? 0, 1, 2, 3, right? We cannot make use of 10 index. If we make use of 10 index, then we will get index error. Okay. Okay. Second point, by using slice operator, right? And what is the slice operator? Anyone know? If no, you can mention some points about slice operator. I am now looking chat box. Okay, so if anyone know about slice operator, you can mention here. What slicing operator do? Create the sub part of list. Perfect, Rishabh. Rishabh Sasan is saying create the sub part of list. Okay. For example, 1, 2, 3. Tejas Savdikar, okay, is typing something. Kaustubik saying accessing particular element. Perfect, Kaustubik. Accessing particular element. Now we can see here. What I did, we have now one list as a name, list 1. Okay. और हमें अभी क्या करना है? Different elements को list 2 में हमें convert करना है. List के particular sub list को हम कह सकते हैं. Means हमारे पास एक list है, right? Like 10, 20, 30, 40. We have these elements in our list. Now what I want to do, just I want to access the 10 and 20, and I want to pass those numbers to the second list. You can see here list 1 and list 2. These 2 variables we are using, right? So what start will indicate here, it indicates the index where the slice has to start. Default value is 0. If we don't mention anything, right, then it will automatically take the default value as 0. Then second variable we have to mention is stop. Stop variable, what it will do? It will indicate the index where the slice has to end. Default value is max allowed to index of list, length of the list. Means if we don't mention any any number at the position of stop, then it will take the value which will be the your max length of your list, right? It will start from 0 and it will end at the end of list, right? This it will take the length of list as an input in the position of stop if you not mention anything, and at the position of step we can mention anything, but by default it will take 1. So by using this concept also you can access the element of list. Okay, just 1 minute, I will take time for drinking water. Just everyone please go through previous concepts. Okay. Okay. Now almost we have 20 minutes left. Okay, so we will try to cover little faster now. So for accessing element, these two methods we saw. Now next, list versus mutability. Okay, someone was mentioning in chat box that list is mutable, right? And what is the meaning of mutable? Mutable means we can change the element's value, right? We can change the variable's value, like that we saw previously immutable concept, right? What is the meaning of immutable? We cannot change the content of that variable. And what is the meaning of mutability? We can change the value of that variable, right? So list come under the mutable category. You can see here n is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. This was the list, and in third line you can see here what we did, n at the first index we have changed the value to the 777. Okay, so after printing that we will get the output as a 10, 777, 30 and 40. We can make change in any value, okay, in list. So once we create a list object, we can modify its content, hence list object are mutable. Okay, now next concept, traversing the element of list. Traversing means what? Means accessing every element of list. Okay, so how to access? There are different methods. By using while loop you can access all methods. You can see here in third line we are using while, we are using I variable as a flag, I variable less than length of n, right? And we are printing ni using index, and using while loop you can traverse through list, or using for loop also you can do that. For that you can see for n1 in n, print n1. How many of you don't know for loop or don't have confidence in for loop? Everyone is confident? Okay, so I will not explain what is the syntax, but you can understand that by using while loop and for loop you can go through every element of list. Okay, you can take screenshot of this also. Okay, important functions of list. Now there are different functions, right? As you asked in doubts, please discuss the important functions of list in brief. So here are different functions from list, right? So first function is len. Len function means for calculating the length of the list, and how to use this. You can see here n is a list containing 10, 20, 30, 40. We are using len function, and in that function inside the bracket we have mentioned the list name. Then what it will print? It will print the length of that list, right? So for getting the length of list we can use len function. We want to count now in first slide of list we saw that the in list duplicates elements are allowed, right? So in list now you can see the for second count function n is equal to, we have list in which we have two number four times, right? It's 1 2 2 2 3 3. So now I want to count that two number how many times it present in our list, right? So for that we can make use of this count function, and what it will return? It returns number of occurrence of specified items in the list, right? Means what? N dot count 1. So it will count occurrence of 1, right? How many times 1 come in n list? So how many times it will return 1 only. If we put here n.count 2, then it will print 4. If we put n.count 3, then it will print 2. Okay. Next concept is index, right? So what is the use of index function? Now we want to check the index of the particular element, right? At what index the particular element present inside the list. For that we can use index function. You can see here print n.index, inside the bracket we have put it 1. So this function what it will do, it will just the print the index of the 1, right? ये क्या करेगा, हमारा लिस्ट में 1 किस इंडेक्स पे प्रेजेंट है वो इंडेक्स रिटर्न करेगा. Perfect. And there is one note for this function. If the specified element not present in the list, then we will get value error, right? Hence, before index method, we have to check whether item present in the list or not. What is the meaning of that? Means हमारे लिस्ट में कोई एलिमेंट नहीं है, जैसे कि आप इस एग्जांपल में समझ सकते हैं. n is equal to square bracket, we have this 4, 5, 6, 7 elements, right? But if in print function, if you write n dot index 10, right? But 10 is not present inside the list. So what you will get output as a value error, right? You will get value error. Okay. So these three there are now I think there are more functions. Okay, there are more. Okay. Manipulating elements of list. Okay, now you want to manipulate the elements of list. So what all functions you can have in programming languages in Python? You can see first is append. What will append do? We can use append function to add items at the end of the list, right? So append function से क्या कर सकते हैं, लिस्ट में 1 by 1 elements add कर सकते हैं. Okay, and there is another function for manipulating, is for adding the elements inside the list. Second one is insert. Insert क्या कर सकता है, to insert item at the specified index of position, right? So you आप यहाँ पे डिफरेंस इसका समझ सकते हैं append फंक्शन है insert फंक्शन में. append फंक्शन क्या कर रहा है, एलिमेंट्स ऐड कर रहा है लिस्ट में लेकिन एट द एंड ऑफ द लिस्ट, राइट? एंड insert फंक्शन क्या कर रहा है, insert फंक्शन यूज करके हम किसी भी स्पेसिफाइड लोकेशन पे कोई भी वैल्यू इंसर्ट कर सकते हैं, राइट? आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं एग्जांपल में n.insert in bracket 1888, right? What is the meaning of that? At index 1 we are putting 888 value, right? Means after printing this list, ये जब हम कोड रन करेंगे थर्ड लाइन प्रिंट n, तब हमारा आउटपुट क्या होगा, 1 2 की जगह पे 888 रिप्लेस होगा 3 4 5, राइट? ओके, नाउ द सेकंड एग्जांपल, राइट? n is equal to 1 2 3 4 5. now what we are going to do here, n.insert 10. अब यहाँ पे समझ सकते हैं कि हमारे इसमें 5 एलिमेंट्स है, राइट? 5 elements means index 0 to 4, right? But we are inserting element at position 10, and in below line you can see they are putting element at the position of -10. So can anyone guess what will be the output of this code? Please try. If we try to insert any value at the position of 10 or -10, what we will get output? Accessing element using index in list. Okay, please put your answer in chat box. Okay, perfect, right? You can read this in note also. If the specified index is greater than the max index, then element will be inserted at last. Okay, means ये जो second line है यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं n.insert at the 10th position. But हमें पता है कि हमारी लिस्ट में कितने एलिमेंट्स है, 5 एलिमेंट्स है. There is no 10th place. So यहाँ पे क्या होगा, 777 जो नंबर है वो at the end of list ऐड होगा, right? Means 1 2 3 4 5 and 777. ये डाउट किसी ने तो पूछा था कि n.insert 10 ये वैल्यू एरर क्यों नहीं देगा, राइट? ये फंक्शन रन होने के बाद, क्योंकि हमने स्टार्टिंग इंडेक्स में देखा था कि अगर हम कोई इंडेक्स एक्सेस करते समय कोई अगर एडिशनल इंडेक्स हम एक्सेस करने का ट्राई करते तो हमें वैल्यू एरर या इंडेक्स एरर आता है, राइट? तो यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं आता है, क्योंकि ये इसकी फंक्शनलिटी आप यहाँ पे समझ सकते हैं. अगर कोई इंडेक्स मैक्स साइज से भी बड़ा है तो वो जो नंबर हम ऐड करना चाहते हैं वो एट द एंड ऑफ लिस्ट ऐड होगा. एंड इन -10 क्या होगा, ये नेगेटिव नंबर है, राइट? सो इसका क्या होगा, एट द बिगनिंग होगा. आप यहाँ पे पढ़ सकते हैं, इफ द स्पेसिफाइड इंडेक्स इज स्मॉलर देन मीन इंडेक्स, राइट? मिनिमम नंबर इंडेक्स का क्या था, 0 था. -10 क्या है, मीन इंडेक्स से भी लेसर है. तो इस केस में क्या होगा, देन एलिमेंट विल बी इंसर्टेड एट द फर्स्ट पोजीशन. ओके, Is it clear to everyone? If yes, then please put message in chat box. We will move ahead. Yes, 77 will be at last. Kaustubh, Saurabh, Siddhi attended this question. Okay, perfect. Good. Okay, so we will now move to next. Okay, difference between append and insert we discussed already. Okay, क्या डिफरेंस है append and list में? append function यूज करके हम बस end में elements add कर सकते हैं, right? But using insert function we can make use of index, and while using index we know that we can put number at any position, right? Okay, now third function is extend function, right? What extend function does? To add all item of one list to the another list, right? Means हमें क्या करना है अभी एक दो हमारे पास दो लिस्ट है, list 1 and list 2, and we want to add list 1 content to the list 2, so we can make use of extend function. Okay, to add all items of the one list to the another list, L1 dot extend L2. हमें क्या करना है, जिस लिस्ट में हमें ऐड करना है उस लिस्ट से हमें extend फंक्शन को कॉल करना है, राइट? कैसे? L1 डॉट एक्सटेंड एंड इन ब्रैकेट हमें L2 पास करना है, फिर L2 का कंटेंट L1 में कॉपी होगा. जैसे आप यहाँ पे नीचे एग्जांपल में देख सकते हैं, ऑर्डर 1 ऑर्डर 2, राइट? सो ऑर्डर 1 डॉट एक्सटेंड ऑर्डर 2. सेशन होने के बाद अब ये एग्जांपल रन करके देखना बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए. ओके, प्लीज टेक स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ दिस स्लाइड. ओके, नाउ फोर्थ फंक्शन इज रिमूव फंक्शन. We can use this function to remove the specified item from the list, right? हमें अभी specified function remove करना है लिस्ट में, राइट? तो हम रिमूव फंक्शन का यूज कर सकते हो. रिमूव फंक्शन रिमूव कैसे करेगा? वो वैल्यू इनपुट लेगा मल्टीपल टाइम्स एंड ओनली फर्स्ट ऑकरेंस विल बी रिमूव. अभी हमारे लिस्ट में कोई एलिमेंट मल्टीपल टाइम है, जैसे आप नीचे एग्जांपल में देख सकते हैं रिमूव फंक्शन के अंदर n इज इक्वल टू 10 20 10 30 एंड वी आर गोइंग टू रिमूव द 10. ओके, सो इसमें क्या होगा, जो फर्स्ट ऑकरेंस ऑफ 10 है वो डिलीट होगा एंड सेकेंड ऑकरेंस प्रिजर्व होगा, वो डिलीट नहीं होगा. तो हमारी लिस्ट हम जब प्रिंट करेंगे तब हमारी लिस्ट होगी 20 10 30, right? And the first occurrence of 10 will get deleted. Okay, so ये कौन से फंक्शन थे? ये थे मैनिपुलेशन, लिस्ट मैनिपुलेशन करने के लिए ये फंक्शन. फर्स्ट हमने देखा था append, सेकंड insert, थर्ड देखा हमने extend, and fourth one is remove. Okay, okay, there is one example, but we will move to the next function, pop function. Pop function, what it will do? It removes and returns the last element of the list, right? जैसे रिमूव फंक्शन में हम कोई भी एलिमेंट रिमूव कर सकते थे, पॉप फंक्शन क्या करेगा? बस लास्ट एलिमेंट को रिमूव कर सकता है. ओके, आप इस एग्जांपल में देख सकते हैं n इज इक्वल टू 10 20 30 40 n डॉट पॉप एंड इन फोर्थ लाइन वी आर प्रिंटिंग द लिस्ट. देन व्हाट विल बी द आउटपुट? 40 and 30 will get deleted successively, right? And in output we will get 10 and 20 number. Okay, right? हाँ, यहाँ पे एक नोट आप देख सकते हैं, द लिस्ट इज एम्प्टी देन पॉप फंक्शन रेज द इंडेक्स एरर, राइट? अगर हमारी लिस्ट एम्प्टी है एंड हम पॉप फंक्शन का अगर पॉप फंक्शन को अगर कॉल करते हैं तो हमें एरर आएगा इंडेक्स एरर, राइट? क्योंकि हमारे पास कोई एलिमेंट नहीं है उसमें, राइट? ओके, इट कैन रिटर्न एनी वैल्यू, इट कैन रिटर्न एनी वैल्यू स्पेशल. ओके, नाउ पॉप फंक्शन डन. Append. Okay, last note. Okay, we will move to the next. Ordering elements of list, right? What is meaning of ordering? Means अभी हमें लिस्ट को क्या करना है, हमें रिवर्स करना है या सॉर्ट करना है नंबर्स. तो उसके लिए डिफरेंट फंक्शंस हम यूज कर सकते हैं. फर्स्ट फंक्शन है रिवर्स. रिवर्स फंक्शन क्या करेगा? एलिमेंट्स को रिवर्स करेगा लिस्ट में. मींस 10 20 30 40 जब हम प्रिंट करेंगे, प्रिंट होगा 40 30 20 10, राइट? फॉर रिवर्सिंग एलिमेंट्स वी कैन यूज रिवर्स फंक्शन. नेक्स्ट फंक्शन इज सॉर्ट फंक्शन. सॉर्ट फंक्शन बेसिकली यूज होता है सॉर्टिंग करने के लिए, राइट? हमें अगर एलिमेंट्स लिस्ट के सॉर्ट करने हैं तो अब यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं 25 15 10 0 एंड आफ्टर सॉर्टिंग दिस लिस्ट आउटपुट विल बी 0 5 10 15 एंड 20. ओके, Amrut Reddy saying, what happen if we have both string and number? Perfect doubt, Amrut. We have mentioned here, you can read. To the sort function, compulsory list should contain the only homogeneous elements. What is the name of the student? Asking doubt. Amarnath Reddy, right? Amarnath Reddy. Please read this line. To sort the function, compulsory list should contain only homogeneous element. Otherwise, we will get type error. राइट? अगर हमारे लिस्ट में समझो स्ट्रिंग एलिमेंट्स भी है, बुलियन एलिमेंट्स भी है एंड इंटीजर्स भी है, एंड हम अगर सॉर्ट फंक्शन को कॉल करते हैं तो हमें टाइप एरर आएगा, राइट? जब हमें सॉर्ट फंक्शन यूज करना है तो बेसिकली हमें सारे एलिमेंट्स हमारे सेम होने चाहिए. ओके सर, थैंक यू. ओह फाइन. नेक्स्ट, अलाइजिंग एंड क्लोनिंग ऑफ लिस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट। ओके, हमने ये कंसेप्ट डिस्कस किया था, राइट, म्यूटेबल एंड इम्यूटेबिलिटी। इसी की तरह ये भी कंसेप्ट यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, द प्रोसेस ऑफ गिविंग अनदर रेफरेंस वेरिएबल टू द एग्जिस्टिंग लिस्ट इज कॉल्ड अलाइजिंग, राइट। इसमें क्या हो रहा है, एक्स हमारी एक लिस्ट है 10, 20, 30, 40, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, एक्स का रेफरेंस वाई में स्टोर कर रहे हैं, राइट। तो क्या होगा, एक्स एंड वाई सेम लिस्ट को इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं, राइट। The problem in this approach is by using one reference variable, if we are changing the content, then those changes will be reflected to the other reference variable, right? ये हमने डिस्कस किया था स्टार्टिंग में, इम्यूटेबिलिटी कंसेप्ट अंडरस्टैंड करते समय कि हमारे पास A वेरिएबल है, B वेरिएबल है, C वेरिएबल है, और तीनों भी वेरिएबल सेम 10 वैल्यू को, 10 ऑब्जेक्ट को इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं। अगर मैं C इज इक्वल टू 10 की जगह पे C इज इक्वल टू 20 कर दूं तो A और B की वैल्यू भी चेंज हो जाएगी, राइट। तो इस कंसेप्ट में भी सेम, अगर X एंड Y लिस्ट वेरिएबल्स इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं सेम लिस्ट को, और हम अगर किसी भी एक लिस्ट के एलिमेंट को चेंज करते हैं, कैसे चेंज करेंगे, अभी हमने मैनिपुलेशन फंक्शंस में देखे थे, राइट। लिस्ट मैनिपुलेशन फंक्शन में हमारे पास कौन सा फंक्शन था, एक इंडेक्स वाला हमने देखा था कि इंडेक्स यूज करके हम एक्सेस कर सकते कोई भी वेरिएबल। तो आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, लास्ट एग्जांपल में हमारी लिस्ट थी x 10, 20, 30, 40, हमने x का रेफरेंस y में स्टोर किया एंड y फर्स्ट इंडेक्स को हमने चेंज किया 777, राइट। आप सेकंड इमेज में देख सकते हैं कि 20 रिप्लेस हो गया 777, एंड व्हाट इज द ड्रॉबैक कि x का भी लिस्ट चेंज हो जाएगा, राइट। x की भी फर्स्ट पोजीशन ऑटोमेटिकली चेंज हो जाएगी। ओके, तो अभी हम देखते हैं क्लोनिंग कंसेप्ट। क्लोनिंग कंसेप्ट क्या है, टू ओवरकम दिस प्रॉब्लम वी शुड गो फॉर क्लोनिंग। ओके, द प्रोसेस ऑफ क्रिएटिंग एग्जैक्टली डुप्लीकेट इंडिपेंडेंट ऑब्जेक्ट इज कॉल्ड क्लोनिंग। हाँ, राइट, मैंने ये कंसेप्ट ऐड किया था क्योंकि एक स्टूडेंट ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि जब हम y इज इक्वल टू एक्स, मींस x के लिए एक रेफरेंस वेरिएबल बना रहे हैं और उस रेफरेंस वेरिएबल के साथ हमें कुछ फंक्शनैलिटीज परफॉर्म करनी है, तो उस फंक्शनैलिटीज को परफॉर्म करने के बाद हमारी ओरिजिनल लिस्ट में चेंजेस क्यों होते हैं, राइट, समथिंग लाइक दैट ही वाज आस्किंग। सो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं इस कंसेप्ट में जब भी हमें रेफरेंस क्रिएट करना है, अगर हम अलाइजिंग कंसेप्ट से अगर हम करते हैं तो हमें ये ड्रॉबैक हमेशा फेस करना पड़ेगा। इसके लिए हमारे पास क्लोनिंग कंसेप्ट है। I will check time first. Okay, time end. So हम एंड करेंगे जल्दी, ठीक है। तो स्लाइसिंग फंक्शन से हम क्या कर सकते हैं, वन बाय वन सारे कंटेंट y लिस्ट में हम कॉपी पेस्ट कर सकते हैं बाय यूजिंग स्लाइस ऑपरेटर। इसके अंदर आप एग्जांपल देख सकते हैं, y इज इक्वल टू 10, 20, 30, 40 था, हमने स्लाइस ऑपरेटर यूज किया और सारे एलिमेंट्स हमने कॉपी पेस्ट किए y लिस्ट में, राइट। ओके, और हमने अभी नेक्स्ट इसमें क्या किया, फर्स्ट एलिमेंट में 777 पुट किया तो x की वैल्यू चेंज नहीं हुई। दिस कंसेप्ट इज नोन एज क्लोनिंग कंसेप्ट। ओके, एंड वी कैन मेक यूज ऑफ कॉपी फंक्शन आल्सो, राइट। कॉपी फंक्शन क्या करेगा, पूरी लिस्ट x से y में कॉपी करेगा, राइट। सो यू कैन नोट दैट कॉपी फंक्शन, राइट, यू कैन मेक यूज ऑफ कॉपी फंक्शन टू मेक रेफरेंस ऑफ एनी प्रीवियसली एग्जिस्टिंग लिस्ट। ओके, okay, Sai Chandu is asking me to upload this PPT. Okay, Sai, I will share this PPT with all of you. Okay, I will upload in Edmodo. Okay, now this is the last concept we are going to discuss today, mathematical operators. Okay, so mathematical operator use करके भी हम लिस्ट के साथ different ऑपरेशंस कर सकते हैं, जैसे कि फर्स्ट ऑपरेशन कॉन्केटिनेशन, राइट। कॉन्केटिनेशन मींस क्या कि दो लिस्ट को ऐड करना। आप यहाँ पे एग्जांपल में समझ सकते हैं, a इज इक्वल टू 10, 20, 30, b इज इक्वल टू 4, 50, 60, एंड हम कॉन्केटिनेशन ऑपरेटर प्लस का यूज करके c इज इक्वल टू a प्लस b, तो और जब हम प्रिंट करेंगे c तब उसमें क्या होगा, a एंड b के एलिमेंट्स एडेड होंगे, राइट। ओके, रिपीटेशन ऑपरेटर कौन सा होता है, मल्टीप्लिकेशन ऑपरेटर, बेसिकली स्टार ऑपरेटर। वी कैन यूज रिपीटेशन ऑपरेटर टू रिपीट द एलिमेंट ऑफ लिस्ट स्पेसिफाइड नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स। हमें क्या करना है, अभी 10, 20, 30 को मल्टीपल नंबर्स ऑफ टाइम्स रिपीट करना है और स्टोर करना है एक लिस्ट में, राइट, परफेक्ट। सो उसमें क्या करेंगे, y इज इक्वल टू x, रिपीटेशन ऑपरेटर 3, तो उससे क्या होगा, देखो आप यहाँ पे ऑब्जर्व कर सकते हो 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30 एंड 10, 20, 30, राइट। 3 बार ये लिस्ट हमारी कॉपी पेस्ट होगी। ओके, हमारे बहुत सारे कंसेप्ट रह गए। ओके, फिर भी हमने आज 30 नंबर स्लाइड तक हमने कवर किया है, मोर 58 थे, तो 58 माइनस 30 कितने होते हैं, 28, तो 28 स्लाइड्स हमारी डिस्कस करने की बाकी है। तो ये पूरी पीपीटी मैं आपके साथ व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे भी और एडमोडो ऐप पे भी शेयर करने के लिए कहूंगा, तो आप मेक श्योर करना सारे एग्जांपल्स आप सेशन के बाद अपने सिस्टम पे रन करके देखें, ये जो एग्जिस्टिंग एग्जांपल्स है इस पीपीटी में, और उसमें आप चेंजेस करके भी रन करके ट्राई करना कि इफ वी मेक चेंजेस इन एनी प्रीवियसली एग्जिस्टिंग सिंटैक्स व्हाट विल बी द आउटपुट, राइट? आउटपुट क्या आएगा, थोड़े सा चेंजेस करके देखना, इसकी प्रैक्टिस करना। मैं एक बार बस फास्ट में सारे स्लाइड्स दिखा देता हूँ कि कौन से कॉन्सेप्ट्स हमने कवर किए। ओके, Shivam is asking, if you want to remove the function from particular index, keeping the value at that index as it is, what to do? समझ में नहीं आया शिवम। You want to remove func function means, if possible, please write your question in brief. ओके, तो नेक्स्ट स्लाइड्स में क्या क्या है? कंपेयरिंग लिस्ट ऑब्जेक्ट्स। ओके, अभी डिफरेंट हमारे पास लिस्ट है एक्स वाई जेड, तो उनका कंपैरिजन कैसे करना है, राइट? कंपैरिजन ऑपरेटर। मेंबरशिप ऑपरेटर क्या होता है? मेंबरशिप ऑपरेटर बेसिकली होता है कि उस लिस्ट में कोई एलिमेंट एग्जिस्ट करता है क्या, 10 इन n, तो वो चेक करेगा कि 10 वैल्यू उस लिस्ट में एग्जिस्ट करती है, राइट? तो हम बस गो थ्रू करते हैं। उसके बाद टपल डेटा टाइप भी ब्रीफली यहाँ पे है, पूरा टपल की प्रॉपर्टीज, टपल क्रिएट कैसे करेंगे, accessing elements of tuple, mathematical operators for tuple, important functions of tuple. Okay, after that tuple packing and unpacking, this is a very beautiful concept. Please go through this after sharing this ppt. List और tuple में difference क्या है, ये भी difference बहुत important है। लाइक ये सारे जो एग्जांपल्स, इतने सारे एग्जांपल्स इस पीपीटी में है, ये आपके प्रॉपर अंडरस्टैंडिंग के लिए है, राइट? हमने एकदम स्टार्टिंग में क्या देखा था, एक कोड देखा था, राइट? मैं फिर से एक बार दिखाऊंगा। एजुकेटिंग द माइंड विदाउट एजुकेटिंग द हार्ट इज नो एजुकेशन एट ऑल, राइट? तो कोई भी कंसेप्ट में मगअप नहीं करना है, उसके ऊपर एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करना है और लर्न करना है, राइट? तो टपल डेटा टाइप, उसके बाद हमारे स्लाइड्स में है डिफरेंट ऑपरेशंस। ओके, डिफरेंस रेंज डेटा टाइप, राइट? रेंज भी एक डेटा टाइप होता है पाइथन में, तो वो भी इसमें डिस्कस किया हुआ है। सेट डेटा टाइप, फ्रोजन सेट डेटा टाइप, ये थोड़ा नया कंसेप्ट है, राइट? आपने बहुत लोगों ने सुना भी होगा, कुछ लोगों ने सुना नहीं होगा, लेकिन आप मेक श्योर करो कि ये पीपीटी शेयर होने के बाद आप रीड करो ये सब। डिक्शनरी डेटा टाइप, ये भी एक इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट है डेटा स्ट्रक्चर में। नन डेटा टाइप, उसके बाद फ्लो कंट्रोल, राइट? फ्लो कंट्रोल में क्या आएगा, कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट, इफ एल्स इफ वाला कंसेप्ट, राइट? फिर इटरेटिव स्टेटमेंट, इटरेटिव स्टेटमेंट में फॉर लूप, व्हाइल लूप, ये भी बहुत लोगों ने डाउट पूछा था कि प्लीज एक्सप्लेन टुडे फॉर लूप एंड व्हाइल लूप इन डिटेल, राइट? सो अभी हमें टाइम परमिट नहीं कर रहा है, लेकिन आप ये पीपीटी से गो थ्रू कर सकते हैं, और अगर नेक्स्ट टाइम कभी हमारा डाउट सेशन रहता है तो हम न्यू डाउट्स के साथ ये भी डाउट्स कवर करेंगे। ओके, नेक्स्ट सेशन में ट्रांसफर स्टेटमेंट देख सकते हैं आप, उसमें ब्रेक कीवर्ड होता है, कंटिन्यू, पास्ट स्टेटमेंट्स होते हैं, ये भी क्वेश्चन था। और कुछ स्टूडेंट्स ने पैटर्न क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे, राइट? कि प्लीज एक्सप्लेन द लॉजिक बिहाइंड दिस पैटर्न क्वेश्चंस। तो मैंने बेसिकली 2 क्वेश्चंस यहाँ पे ऐड किए थे, लेकिन अभी टाइम परमिट नहीं कर रहा है, लेकिन मैंने यहाँ पे ऐड किया है, और एक डॉक्यूमेंट मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा जिसमें इसका लॉजिक एक्सप्लेन करके मैं टाइप करके बेसिकली आपको वो डॉक्यूमेंट शेयर करता हूँ। ओके, सो थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग। अगर कुछ आपके और डाउट्स है तो गूगल फॉर्म आपके साथ शेयर्ड ऑलरेडी है, उसमें बहुत शायद मेरे हिसाब से 27 या 28 स्टूडेंट्स ने कुछ डाउट्स शेयर किए थे। तो नेक्स्ट टाइम से आप ट्राई करो कि सारे स्टूडेंट्स इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर सको, सारे डाउट्स आप पूछो, क्योंकि डाउट्स माइंड में रखोगे तो क्या होगा, प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज इज नॉट लाइक एनी मैथमेटिक्स और फिजिक्स केमिस्ट्री, राइट? प्रोग्रामिंग लैंग्वेज में इम्प्लीमेंटेशन और प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज पे बहुत फोकस करना पड़ता है, राइट? जितना आपका हैंड्स ऑन होगा उतनी अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग होगा। थियोरेटिकल नॉलेज हमें प्रोग्रामिंग में इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होता है, बेसिकली प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज हमें यूज होता है। विवेक पाटिल सेइंग टू गुड एंड मच हेल्पफुल, थैंक यू विवेक। ओके, सो ये पीपीटी मैं आपके साथ शेयर करता हूँ, और नेक्स्ट मिलिंद सर के सेशन से सर नेक्स्ट टॉपिक्स भी कवर करेंगे। वाइल स्टडी अगर आपको कुछ और डाउट्स आते हैं, आप उस गूगल फॉर्म का यूज कर सकते हैं, फिर से आपके व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स पे वो शेयर्ड है, मुझे वो डाउट्स दिखते रहेंगे, उसके हिसाब से मैं ये पीपीटी अपडेट करते रहूंगा आपके डाउट्स के हिसाब से, एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस ऑल दिस कंसेप्ट्स अगेन इन नेक्स्ट डाउट सेशन। ओके, thank you sir, waiting for another session, Shivam is saying. Oh, thank you Shivam. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Okay, we can end here. Okay, I will switch off my video, I will be here, but you can leave meeting. Okay, thank you for joining.
Yeah, Thank you, sir. Thank you for this session. I hope all of you have whatever doubts you had has been solved by sir. And furthermore, if you have you solve this question or all the assignments and all this, and if you come to any doubt, you can have one more session. We will invite sir for this doubt solving. And thank you very much, sir, for this session. And for all the participants are requested to wait here. There is some announcement for all of you. Just 1 minute, I'm sharing this screen. Yeah. So these are some announcements which are important for all of you for your further PW sessions. So first is for the next few weeks, the PW session will be only for these 3 colleges like VIT, VIIT and Tirupati college students. They will only have this PW session. And for remaining colleges like for Pune University colleges, like for SCOE, SKN, NB and NARE and other colleges, this PW session we have decided to postpone their PW sessions because you all have your semester exams. So in keeping the view of that, we have postponed this PW sessions for the next few weeks, and we will be updating all our updates on your WhatsApp groups. So, like for these 3 colleges, VIT and VIIT Tirupati colleges, there you can contact your mentors and organization for your next PW sessions. Okay, I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, you can ask. Okay, some students are saying the VIT also has end sem exams. Okay, is this? Yeah. So we will discuss about this for VIT college students with our organization. Yes, Somesh, you can leave. Yeah, we will discuss and we will update on your WhatsApp groups for this thing. Yeah, so I'm ending this meeting here itself. Once again, thank you all of you for joining this session. Thank you.